Another match ball, another hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Back-to-back hat-tricks in the Premier League, and we're only 3 rounds in. Manchester City's perfect start to the season continues with the 3-1 win at West Ham United. What, Stuart Pearce, was so good for you about City this afternoon?
The way they wrestled momentum back from West Ham. West Ham started the game quite well. Let's not forget that. First 5-10 minutes, they done quite well, got on the front foot, tried to put City on the back foot. They wrestled momentum back, and then they dominated the game in that first half. The first half, they were incredible. The way they finished their chances and the composure the team have in the opposition's box. West Ham had a chance late on, and myself and Owen looked at each other, and there was panic trying to get a finish away. Souček was trying to get it out of his feet, couldn't do so. Every time Manchester City get the ball in the opposition's box, there's no panic. Everyone's nice and composed, and they work, even if it's an extra pass, to create the finishing opportunity, which we saw when Haaland come inside and unloaded the second shot.
Yeah, Owen, your report card on the 90?
That's just how Man City play. It's just what they do every time. And I think, Stuart made a really good point. When you got, Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland and Ederson, all these types of guys, they're too good. The one thing I would say is, when you give Erling Haaland that type of space, he's going to hurt you. So at some point, either you mark him or you get tighter or you try and be physical. But with the space that he had to run into on the first one, the second one he's allowed to get onto his left, and then the third one, he kind of runs in behind. I know he's a problem because physically he's big and strong and he's quick, but you have to try and make it a little bit more difficult because this guy is he's just a machine. He really is. And if De Bruyne is playing the balls and Bernardo, then you're going to struggle.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk about the first half. Because the first and the second, as we briefly touched on, were a little bit different. For City, they had so many chances, hit the woodwork. There were chances. There was a chance for Grealish. De Bruyne had an opportunity. He, in fact, hit the woodwork as well. It was 2-1 at halftime. It could have been more. Yeah,
it probably should have been more because of the chances that they did create. To be fair, they were unlucky. De Bruyne especially. Areola made one brilliant save, then he hit the post on another. And the problem is they just get so many bodies forward. They make it really difficult, I think, for West Ham or any club to defend because there's not enough defenders there. There's about 7-8 guys in the box. And I just think as a defender, you're probably thinking, where are all these guys coming from? It just puts so much pressure on the team.
Yeah, they don't need any help, and yet that's what West Ham gave them. There was a turnover from Silva, who you mentioned was once again so brilliant today, that led to the opening opportunity. Haaland with the opening goal. Talk us through this here in the midfield.
Well, he's had a nibble at the ball first off, and then he's gone after the ball again and got the ball back. And the way to pass, after he does that, slides his teammate in. Haaland starts to read there might be a turnover here, and he's on his way. As Owen mentioned earlier, the West Ham centre-halves have split to play, and then you're in big trouble if you give it away.
What about Paquetá, though, losing the ball? How could he have done better?
Yeah, but he's a Brazilian. That's how he plays. He kind of gets his... He takes risks. That's how he plays. The problem is Bernardo Silva, he knew exactly what was going to happen. Stuart made a great point. He pressed in the first one, won that, and then he did it again. Paquetá thought, you're not going to get it off me again. And Bernardo Silva did. And the problem is when you leave a big gap like that for Haaland to run into, he just cruises into it. And the finish, he opens his body, was beautiful.
So it was an own goal to restore parity, but that didn't last long because Haaland again, with the finish, after all those chances we mentioned, he showed them how the finish should be pulled off.
Look at the composure of the City players. Composure, 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 composure. And then the finish. There's no panic in any of their play. They weren't trying to get the ball out their feet and smash it against the opposition's defence. Grealish has started it, and then it's a chain of events. West Ham defenders are getting there too late at that stage, and then the finish is fantastic. Touch inside, bang. Goalkeeper can't react.
So is the criticism then that they should have closing down sooner?
No, they should just be allowed more players. Because they got 7 guys in the box offensively. You're not going to have 7-8 defenders really in your own box. And I just think when they overload you like that, it just makes it so hard. The only criticism I'd say is Emerson's worried about Doku, but actually he should be more worried about Haaland. Take away the left foot of Haaland, let the ball go to Doku, and if he scores, he crosses it, he does. I think you've got to find a way to take away Haaland, De Bruyne. They're the guys that hurt you the most.
Let's look at the goal that seals his hat-trick. It came pretty late on in the second half, a spell of opportunity, of control for West Ham, but it was Manchester City that got the goal, puts the gloss on the scoreline as well. great run from him, great vision. What more can you tell us about it?
Well, clever. Look, he's way offside at this moment in time. He sees, I don't have to get onside just yet. The ball's not ready to come. Then he gets onside briefly, and then he's gone. And once he goes, he transfers all the pressure to the goalkeeper. So the goalkeeper, instead of the forward going through thinking to himself, I've got to score, panic, he doesn't. He goes, OK, I'm in full control of this, and the goalkeeper's got the pressure transferred to him, and it's a little dink. It looks easy, but it's not.
Those numbers are just ridiculous. 8 Premier League hat-tricks in 69 games played. That is so far and away from some legendary names.
Jules, you nailed it. They're the legends of our game, of our league. Some of the best to ever do it. Sergio Aguero, Alan Shearer, Robbie Fowler, Thierry Henry. That is the best of the best. And we're talking 12 hat-tricks and 275 in Sergio Aguero. 8 hat-tricks in 69 games. I mean, it's not. We've never ever seen anyone, not even Messi or Ronaldo, were putting up these numbers. It's truly astonishing.
As a digit fell off the games tally there. Is that 169? There's something happened there. Have we lost a digit of some description? It's incredible. As Owen said, they're the legends of our game. All of those names on there, and one is creating legend.
Absolutely, a story in the making. The latest chapter today. Last week, it was a hat-trick every 9.7 games. This week, with back-to-back hat-tricks, it is now a Premier League hat-trick every 8.6 matches for Erling Haaland. We've got to hear from him, and we'll do that when we come back.
Well, Erling, congratulations on the win. It is a 3-1 victory in the end, but was it more nervy at times than it had to be, given how much you dominated the match?
I think first half we dominated and we could have scored several goals. Second half they had the ball more and they had more chances. But I don't care. In the end we win, and that's the most important thing.
Nice summary of it. I mean, it was a dominant start to the match. You, of course, scored the opener. And then they find themselves back in the game through an own goal. But if there is one man who City can rely on, it is yourself. Look, 3 goals today, back-to-back hat-tricks, 7 goals in just 3 matches. How do you assess your start to the season?
It's been quite good, 9 points and 7 goals, so cannot complain.
What's your favourite of the 3 goals?
I like all 3, but the second one.
Why?
Because it's a great goal.
Yeah, they were all great goals, to be honest. I wonder, after scoring that hat-trick last weekend, when you were on 2 goals today, would you have been disappointed if you had ended the match with just 2? You know, for yourself, is it about hitting those heights, hat-tricks on a regular basis?
No, it's about winning games, and that's what we did today as well. So 9 points out of 3 games is a great start, and that's my focus.
And just looking at the collective, you mentioned it there, it is 3 wins from 3, especially after Arsenal dropped points. You're 2 points clear now. How pleased are you with the start to the season already?
Yeah, season is good, but don't forget there's 35 games left, so last thing I'm going to focus about is anyone else. It's about taking game by game and to getting 3 points, and to don't think too much, because that's not a good thing for the brain.
Enjoy the win.
Thank you.
Another match ball for Erling Haaland. Truth is, his teammates are sick of writing on these match balls.
I love
There's
that.
the proof.
How good is that? Who wrote that? Do we know?
We don't know yet, but they might write it again this week. We might
I
find
think
out.
that's Pep's handwriting.
I highly doubt
No, I
Pep would
doubt it.
ever say that. Absolutely loving it. Erling Haaland just saying it's okay. He also talked about the fact, as we mentioned, that West Ham had a great spell in the second half. He was asked about it. He said, I don't care.
No, I think there was a bit of tongue-in-cheek there, potentially. You know, he's only a young man, but he's got a solid family behind him. You know, Alfie was who I played with and managed. You know that they'll keep him level, and he's bright enough as well as a player. You know, he's so sort of one-track minded. You know, about being as professional as he can and scoring goals and creating stats. He's got the world at his feet.
Yeah, absolutely. His dad was talking about in the off-season the fact that he was doing simple things like chopping wood. Well, he's come back and you can see it. He's absolutely ready to chop up defences.
He is chopping everybody up, I think. It was interesting, he said at the end, he said, don't overthink it too much, not good for the brain. And he does everything, looks so simple for him. You know, he just makes it look very simple. And it's amazing to watch him work at his craft.
Yeah, delighted surely for Pep Guardiola. Not sure he was the one who would have said he's sick of writing on the match ball. Guardiola's unbeaten run against West Ham, now up to 17 matches. That's after his champions secured a 3-1 win at the London Stadium in the last game of Saturday in the Premier League. Let's hear from the Manchester City boss.
Erling Haaland, you mentioned this season that he is not feeling any niggles. He's very well physically. So how different do you see him considering his preparation, especially in the preseason, in this extended preseason?
With this huge body he has, when not have niggles, is another player. So, but from the beginning. So it's unbelievable. And say, the second goal and even the first, in front of the goal is something. It's something unique. So, but now, like I said, I start every 3 days, and of course, and with this mindset that now he has, everything he can do. So the numbers, the shortage of the numbers, the games have played, and the goals have scored. So 2 goals, 3 goals, 2 goals, 3 goals. So it's incredible beloved, not just for what he does on the pitch, and I think this is so important for him.
For a long time, the difference between the two teams was just 1 goal. West Ham, the difference between getting something out of this game and the 0 points which they ended up with. What was it for you?
I think they were fortunate just to have a 1 goal difference, I've got to say. West Ham, with the personnel they have in their ranks, have always got the opportunity to hurt you on the counter-attack. Bowen's very good on it. Kudus is very good on the counter-attack. Pagetta can find a pass. And Antonio, when he's on the pitch and playing well, that front four can cause any team a problem every now and then. And you can't dominate games for 90 minutes. And City, that they were probably victims of the half-time break a little bit, and were comfortable in the game that much and couldn't get that extra goal in front that would have relaxed them and saw the game out that we saw when they did get the 3rd goal, the game was finished.
Well, absolutely the difference today. Erling Haaland, 4 goals in the match, 3 of those for the Manchester City super striker. And it is City whose 100% win record continues into the new Premier League season. Thank you very much to Owen Hargreaves and to Stuart as well for sharing their expertise with us. Great to have shared a bumper day in the Premier League with all of you. We'll see you next time.